Had about, I don't know, it felt like 24 hours of rain. We probably got the rain that we would have had, in a month and a half in one day. I'm not sure how the tomatoes are going to tolerate it, but there are some things that are looking absolutely incredible. These are my marigolds sent to me from my friend Kathy, and I love them so much. I'm going to try to save as many seeds as possible so I can share them too. They're taking over the walkways along with these daisies that have just bloomed since the spring. The asparagus is still green. I've got peas that have decided to start growing, which is pretty exciting because I love peas. The cucamelons are growing. There's a bunch now. It took a while to get these things going, but once they go, they go. I'm gonna crunch one. So it looks like I actually have to weed. Not much weeding when you're in a drought. Collapsing. The asparagus collapsing under the weight of the rain. More peas are growing over here in the asparagus bed with the amaranth. I'm happy to see the peas finally coming up. Probably because it's been so cold. Just given me so many flowers. I'm so excited. I've got leeks over here. They're finally looking good too. They like rain. Are just gonna be done. I mean, they survived a drought without me giving them water. I am amazed at the yield we got. Not a great pepper year. I haven't figured peppers out. Long beans have started growing up. They're kind of just hovering around the ground, but you would not believe the yield I've had on plants that you can't even see yet growing up. I did expect this to be covered like last year. I just don't know what it's gonna do. We took a pounding out here with the rain. I've got some lettuces started. That will be exciting if they're not bitter. The peppers. I've got a bunch of green beans to harvest. Finally grew. I mean, things have just been like, there has, like, legitimately has not been rain. We are in a severe drought, and I can't believe we've had what we've had even in the drought. So I feel very, very grateful for that. We also had incredible pest pressure, which was just, I mean, it was more than I could keep up with. The squash bugs were brutal. Here are the long beans. A couple of those, that one is a little bit too big, but it's hard. Like, this is too small, but then you'll come out the next day, and if you miss it, it could be like too big. Yeah, they're just kind of hovering around the bottom. They haven't really figured the climb out yet. I don't know if maybe after this rain that will happen. This is my asparagus in the second year, so I've not been harvesting off of that. I asked my friend Mindy at Life Goes North, what should I do? She said, just go ahead and leave it. Let it die back, and it'll work itself out. She mentioned offering it some fertilizer at different times of the year. And right now, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to let it be. Parsnips. Got cowpeas growing here. Some rutabaga down there. I harvested a ton of this perpetual spinach from a different plant, and I cut it all up, and I was so excited. I'm gonna chew this for a minute. I was so excited because I had an entire bucket of it, and it's gone bitter, like really bitter. I do see some flowers, so that's exciting. Now these are supposed to be edible too. These leaves are supposed to be edible. Let's try one. I've never tried one. Oh, that's not good at all. I can see that would be good cooked though. So then I've got daikon radish growing here, which is very exciting to me. Part of the reason I put it there was, one, I love it and I'll make more kimchi, or I will ferment it. But because this row pretty much grew nothing for us this year, so we have to amend. We still need to put more soil here. We're going to build up, and you can see nothing grew here. I had to pull out all the tomatoes, all the onions. I planted some peas to see if that would work. That is not working either. And as you go further down, it does get better. Like the one tomato plant grew down here, but these are pretty much useless. So don't plant your garden near a giant tree. That would be your lesson. So we've built up. This is all about easily a foot or two of compost. You're not supposed to put sweet potatoes in compost, but I did. So we'll see what happens. So you can see like these beans not doing so good. These beans where I built up the soil are doing much, much better. All along here, much better. And then over here, again, nothing grew in this row, but we just built it up. And then right about there is where I stopped. You can kind of see building up the soil. So it does look like it works. So we'll just keep on doing that. I had to rip out all the squash that was growing over here, rip it off the trellis because it was just infested. We had squash bugs everywhere. And here's my other row of fall vegetables. The celeriac is here, but I wasn't sure we were going to get anything because of the lack of rain. All right, so tromboncino, apparently replicante, I think is the same thing as tromboncino. This is replicante, but I think it's the same. Apparently does really well with squash bugs. So I have planted that and it has taken over this trellis. This is just one plant. There are squash bugs on it. But so far it is showing no signs. Well, maybe a little bit down here. So I don't know, maybe mine isn't squash bug resistant, but it's growing. So I'm really grateful for that. I've got broccoli and cabbages down here. Let's see. I've got this sweet little area that I just started. I put in some milkweed and something else, but I don't know what it is. I've got lemon verbena. I've got a lavender, snapdragons, my yarrow, which is pretty much done, some calendula, more snapdragons, and I really like this. So I've just put little logs here to create a nook. I like creating these edges around the garden. In fact, they're probably my favorite part of the garden for sure. That's a weed. This is a weed that's growing. I don't know what it is. If anybody knows what that is, let me know. It's very interesting. So I've got carrots back here. I'm not sure they'll come to anything, but we'll see. This is a volunteer squash. Nothing really has happened on that. I've got more cabbages in here. These seem to be doing pretty well. Another replicante squash growing down there. They make the coolest shapes, so I will be thrilled if those work. I will be happy with that. This is a rutabaga. I don't think it's supposed to look like that. I've got some beets back there that I'll probably harvest as baby beets. And I think I might pull up a bunch of stuff here. I have to research and see if, or you guys tell me if my rutabaga, if that's just wrong. If it's like looking like that, is that wrong? Is that done? And should I get it out of here and just get some other things planted? That would be nice to know. This is just a really quick garden tour, but I haven't really been able to get out and just do one. So I thought, you know what? I'm out here. I happen to have my phone. Let's just do it. Oh, we've got beans. Let's see. Yeah, we've got some beans. So this is the area we built up. Looks like it's working. That's nice. Nice validation. And then I put some sweet potatoes here too to see if I could get the sweet potatoes to grow in another area. But again, not looking great. But I've never grown them, so I don't know. These are all just guesses that I'm making. Unqualified guesses. So I'm not feeling too bad about the shape that the garden's in right now, just because we haven't really had rain. And this rain is going to be a game changer for us. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen post-rain. I can already see weeds, so that is clear to me that the soil that I brought in to build up, any area I built up is filled with grass. And so I clearly brought in grass seed from that. Yeah, I think, I'm going to give my tomatoes a little bit more time, harvest as much as I can. I would like to get one last round of green tomatoes because I have a lot of things that I like to make with green tomatoes. And then it would be kind of cool to be able to use those rows to plant some peas and just see if we could get peas. It's tough to say if that would work or not, but I'm willing to give it. I'm willing to, sacrifice a few packets of seeds just to see, like, if we could get a ton of food plus seeds for the following year. It would be so worth it. Usually this is about what it looks like early August, and this is what we've got early September. So you can just see, like, rain matters, obviously. Obviously, rain matters. We've had all the sun in the world, very few cloudy days. Oh, look, these painted runner bean pods are starting. I'm going to be sharing these seeds with a bunch of people this year. Oh, so many pods. That's exciting. I'm really happy about that. So what happened is I planted these out in the potager garden. They got eaten down by rabbits, so I moved them here, and I wasn't actually sure that anything would happen after that. But clearly this plant wants to grow. I'm really thrilled about that. The highlight of the garden. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see. Let's just check. Any of the disease on these carrots that I had in the other row, which is thrilling. It's always such good news. And this is, again, a reason why diversifying in your garden, like, I plant all sorts of things everywhere. I had planted my peppers in 2 different spots, and I ended up moving some because one spot did better than the other. It's just such an interesting thing to watch and observe. And, like, the pests didn't find the carrots over here. And it's not, it's still not too late. They certainly could. And this could just be that these were planted later, and that might be the trick for me. So that might be the information I need to know, is just, like, plant these later. So just paying attention, always being curious about why something might be the way it is. Not making assumptions, just sort of collecting as much data as you can, and then using that to make choices later on. Well, sorry for all those audio glitches. I had to kind of, like, fill in words. There were all these, like, gaps in the recording where there were no words, and it was just, like, blank space. I really don't know what happened. I was watching back that video, and I'm like, wow, I forgot how rain affects me. We have, like I've said, we've been in a severe drought, and we haven't had rain. I don't know how anything's growing except that plants want to grow, and this is absolute proof. But what I forgot is what rain does to my energy. Like, I am so overwhelmingly grateful to have this rain. I can't believe what's happening outside since we've had this rain. I'm thrilled. And it was a reminder of the way that rain affects my energy is I just get pulled down into myself. Like, I could feel how low energy I was. Even my voice was so, like, quiet, and I was so in it. And going out into my garden yesterday when I filmed that was how I kind of broke out of it. And it's really great if you can spend those rain days, like, inside, doing inside projects, kind of in that hibernating phase. I remember last year in July, it rained almost every single day. We had flooding all the time. So this is a very big difference this year in what's happening. So I was just watching that back, and I was like, wow, I wonder, like, it's just interesting that the audio was kind of missing and my energy was really low. But I'm glad I was able to show you the garden. I'm glad I was able to just get some time in there. It's been a lot of kitchen time. And I just went to the thrift store. And this will be the next video, but do you want to take a peek? I want to show you like a little sneak peek. I am so excited. I did a little thrifting for the apartment. And you know what happens is you can have something in your mind of like what you want, and then you can get to the store and it's like there for you. It just happens. And I don't know if all of this will stay down here. I don't exactly know, but anyway, let me show you. Okay, here's a little sneak peek. Thrifting is so hit or miss, but what's so great is that you see this couch. How well can you see it in the video? It's really beautiful. It's a pull-out couch. It's old. It's easily from the 70s, I think. It came from North Carolina, which is where I lived for many years, but it did not come from me. It came from somebody else. They have had it reupholstered since. It was in their family for a really long time. We got it off of Craigslist. The guy wrote the coolest ad, funniest ad I've ever read on Craigslist. And it was basically like, it was like, I don't know, $10 for this couch. It's so heavy, I cannot help Dave lift it. We've had it at the urban farmhouse where I lived after the loft, and then we brought it here, and we pretty much figure we'll never bring it anywhere else again. Like, it either stays in this house or it goes. But what started to happen, and I'm not gonna show you everything, but what started to happen is I started to find things that just started to tell a story around the couch. And we have a bed now, needs to be painted. We've got a dresser coming downstairs from Luke's room. We brought him up his dresser. We've got plants, baskets, crates. It's just gonna be so good. So I can't wait to show you, but that'll be the next video. All right. Deep breath. The sun is out and September is glorious. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Bye.